welcome back to the channel. If you don't remember who I am, my name's Paul, and today in this video I'm going to be covering how to do the push-up as well as a couple of variations. Like we did in our last video, we're going to be going through this in sort of 4 steps. So first of all, we'll give off our description, then we'll follow, I'll give a demo, show you some pointers, and last but not least, I'll show you some variations. Don't forget to leave a like and, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell just so you know when we post up new videos. So without further ado, let's start talking about push-ups. Push-ups are really fundamental. They're a really easy exercise to do and sort of like lunges. You can progress it and you can regress it almost any way you like. And it's one you can do everywhere, like a lunge. If you're sitting in an office, and you've got 5 minutes, you can crank out 20 push-ups. If you're in the middle of a hard study session, you're an hour and a half into a practice exam and you need something to get your mind off the exam, do push-ups. The muscles that are mainly targeted in this include our chest muscles, or our pecs if you want to call them, also our deltoids, which is the muscles around here that sort of cover our shoulder. They can also target the triceps and as well as muscles of the rotator cuff muscle group. That's why push-ups are a good exercise, and yes, I do know there are a plethora of YouTube videos showing you push-ups and whatever, but like I said in the last video, it's really good if you can see any tips or pointers that we show and how Team Gazelle Running does push-ups. Because we have a couple of variations you might not be familiar of, and like I said, we do show some tips, we do show some things that people commonly mistake for, and as you see later, I might show you what we like to call distance runner push-ups. So without further ado, sit, relax, and enjoy this video while I show the demo, tips, and some variations. So, as per like the last video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the video for about 5 to 10 seconds, and I'm going to show you a front-on view as well as a side view. Okay, so now that you've had a look at the demo from front on and side on, it's time to give you guys some tips. So the first tip we're going to share is about your hand and elbow position. Now, one of the key things that I've noticed as a coach over the years is a lot of more so inexperienced people undertaking strength and conditioning programs tend to have their arms or their hands spread really, really far apart, and they end up what's known as a wide grip push-up. And one of the consequences of this is, as you can see in the video, my elbows are going way out to the side. Now you might think, hey, it's going to put extra pressure on the shoulders, and that might be technically more beneficial for you. As I said in the demo, in the description, that it's able to target your deltoids. It's actually not a good thing. It actually can potentially lead to injury if you do a lot of push-ups like that. And so the way, as you can see in my demonstration of the push-up, that you want your hands roughly shoulder width apart. And nothing too further out, don't have them too close. If you're doing a normal push-up, we just want you to have them shoulder width apart. And with regards to your elbows, what we want to see is instead of your elbows coming out, like it did in the previous demo, what you want to do is you want to have your elbows coming in towards your body. So it should be right next to your lats as a point of reference for you guys. And so the second tip we want to talk about today is your body position. Now we always like saying sort of maintaining that normal spine curvature or staying straight. What I'm going to use for these push-ups is what's called the ruler analogy. You've probably heard it from your PT coach or your running coach, and essentially what it is pretty much from your ankles all the way to your head. You should be able to see a nice straight line. One thing I've seen inexperienced athletes do is they tend to stick their butt up in the air because it makes it easier for you. The final thing I want to talk about is actually turning on certain parts of your body that you might have previously thought, I probably never thought of that. And what I'm referring to is turning on your butt muscles, so your glutes, as well as your core. For your butt, you just want to make sure you squeeze it. with your abs, you want to make sure that you're turning them on, sucking your belly button up. So now we've got some of our variations we're going to show you, and the first one is a modified push-up. Now as you can see from the demo that I'm showing right now, you've obviously going to put your knees on the ground. Don't be like me where you're just putting them onto solid concrete. That's a little bit silly. If you know you can't do a push-up properly, or if you're doing repeated push-ups and you need to change to a modified push-up, which there is nothing wrong with that, make sure that you bring something like a towel. And again, it's going to be the same 3 key tips that we were talking about before, especially with the second tip about the ruler analogy. Instead of it obviously being from your ankles, you obviously want to start doing this from your knees all the way to your head as a nice straight ruler. The second variation we've got is a diamond push-up. Now I did say before that obviously you don't want your hands too close together. However, that's when you're doing a normal push-up. When we're doing diamond push-ups, we want our hands to form the shape of the diamond, just as I'm showing right here, right now. And one of the benefits of this is that it has more triceps activation. And if you're looking for a variation, I recommend this one. And finally, the final variation we've got is the changing in angle of inclination. And now what do I mean by that? If you look at my demo that I'm doing right here, the higher your arms go up, so for example, I'm doing push-ups on a ledge at the moment with my arms on the ledge, that actually makes it easier for us. So in one sense, this is a really good regression. Some people, especially I know in clinical populations, you might tend to do your push-ups on the wall, and that's completely fine. And now, if you're a Super Saiyan and can do a lot of push-ups, then what we can recommend as another form of progression is to get your legs higher off the ground. So as you can see, I've put my legs on the ledge now, and as you can see, I'm trying to do those push-ups that way. That's going to put more of an emphasis on your chest. It's going to be a little bit harder to come up, but rest assured, it's a very good progression that I'd recommend, and you can put that in your strength and conditioning program anytime you want. So there we have it, team. Hopefully by now you know how to do some push-ups, as well as a couple of variations. Just don't forget the 3 key things that we discussed in the tips and pointers section of this video. So first of all, remember your hands and elbows position whilst you're doing the push-ups. Second of all, don't forget that ruler analogy, that you want a nice straight line. And last of all, remember to turn on not only your quads and glutes as you're doing this for stabilization, but also your core, so like for example your abs. Keep up the running, guys. I hope to see you next week. Take care.